In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys 5 shortcuts that every editor should know. So let's go ahead and import, some stock footage that I have here for the sake of this tutorial. And we're going to start with the first shortcut, which is copying and pasting. But it's not just going to be the traditional highlight, Control C, place your cursor, Control V. What I want to show you guys in terms of this shortcut is how to copy and paste in the right place. So assuming you select your footage and press Control C for copy, wherever your keyframe marker is placed is where the footage is going to paste. Okay, so that's the first thing to understand, is if my marker's here and I press paste, I'm going to be pasting whatever clips I've selected into the copy queue right there. Now, the other thing to note is this works for audio and for video, but whatever track is selected is going to be the track that you are pasting on. So if I select V1 and V3, it's going to automatically paste on V1 because that's the lowest track that is selected. So if I zoom out a little bit, place my cursor there and Control V to paste, it's going to paste on V1. All right, to target that track. Now, if we unselect V1 and we paste, it is going to paste on V3 because that is the track that is selected. Likewise, if we select V3 and V2, you guys can guess which one it's going to paste on. It's going to paste on V2. Okay, so that is a very, very useful shortcut, not only just for copying and pasting, but also for isolating the specific track that you know you're going to be pasting on. Now, I'm working with video clips in this tutorial, but if we were to be copying and pasting audio tracks, same exact thing applies for the audio tracks. Select whichever one you'd like to paste, and then place your cursor directly where you want to paste, and go ahead and press paste. All right, the next shortcut that I want to go over is very similar and simple. It is Alt Drag. So if you grab your selection tool and you control and highlight whatever specific clips you want, if you hold the Alt key and drag those clips over and release, they will automatically copy. Now, this can be even more effective than your copy and paste tool if you're using this snap in timeline feature, because what I can do is I can drag, and it will show me exactly where the endpoints are within the timeline, so I can easily paste. If I wanted to paste at the end, I could easily release that and paste directly on the end. Okay, now this does work for whatever you choose to select. So if I wanted to select everything I've worked on so far, hold down the Alt key and drag it to the end, well, all I would have to do is do that, and it would copy everything. All right, let's start back from the very beginning for our next shortcut. All right, the next shortcut is very useful if you have a lot of different clips and you need to close the distance or close the space. Now, most editors for years will just highlight the clip and drag it over, but a great shortcut you can do is just go ahead with your selection tool, click in the space in between those two clips and press backspace. Now, if there are, for example, a ton of clips queued up, right? So for example, if I go ahead and create using the other two keyframes, like 4 clips, let's say, and I go ahead and select that space and press backspace, well, it's going to not only close the distance, but it's going to bring everything to the right of that clip that we're closing the distance on, and it's going to move in conjunction. All right, so another great shortcut to close the distance between clips without needing to paste and without needing to drag over, select and drag, is just clicking the space in between and clicking backspace. Another useful shortcut is the up arrow on your keyboard. If you click the page up, it's going to go to the very first frame of your timeline. So if you need to jump back at any point in time, go ahead and click the up arrow. See, if I'm in the end here, I'm going to go ahead and click the up arrow. It's going to come back to the very beginning. If I'm at the end for some reason and I click the up arrow, it's going to come back to the very beginning. And finally, a quick shortcut when you are exporting or rendering is to highlight the track, the track number 1, and go ahead and press X. It's going to drop an input and output on that clip, and it makes it very easy to export that clip without needing to zoom up, for example, and go ahead and press I, and then zoom up to the end and go ahead and press O, and it will drop these markers in that you can simply drag over when you're editing in Premiere Pro, so that you can Control M or file and export this clip, right? Those are 5 simple shortcuts that every editor should know for every single video that you're working on. I recommend starting to try these out in your timeline.